You know, back in the day, I didn't even know that kuzureta and wasureta existed as unofficial sequels to kowareta. And even then, when I found out, I didn't think another level with the reta suffix would be rated, but you know, here we are. Anyways, hi guys, it's me. Today we're going to be playing Mizureta by Dutchy and more. This is a fan-made sequel to kowareta, and it's more loosely based off of kuzureta and or Niwa, which Niwa is a, you know, sequel of kuzureta kind of. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to go into Mizureta and give you guys any tips or tricks I might have. Now, going into the level, one thing I will say is that I actually do really like the song for Mizureta. It uses a Yoasobi song, and Yoasobi's one of my favorite J-pop artists. I really like their songs, and you know, they're just it's just really nice to listen to. Anyways, such is the case with many flow/click sync levels, you want to rely on clicking to the song a lot in this level. I think in this level it's way more important to actually focus on the song because some of the gameplay, in my opinion, is quite unreadable. And this level doesn't give you any really free timings. I mean, the timings are easy, but you actually do have to time many of these clicks. So, you know, they're not completely free. Anyways, the beginning of Mizureta isn't that bad, as you can see. It's a lot of pretty easy timings, and if you just click to the song, you probably, you know, just pass everything. I found that if you buffered this black orb right here to hit the blue portal, you align yourself better for this UFO timing. Because if I were to hit it later, I find the timing to be a lot weirder and more uncontrollable, which might just be me, but that's just how it is for me. I feel like an alignment on that specific click is pretty good. The rest of these timings aren't too bad though. You might get caught up with their difficulty in the beginning, but they do get very consistent. Anyways, there sadly wasn't much for me to say about the beginning, so I won't say much about it. Alright, so we're at the drop now, so hopefully I should be a bit more helpful. The first 4 clicks of the drop can all be buffered, so make sure you remember that, because if you try timing any of these, it just makes it really inconsistent. So just buffer the first 4 timings here. And then right here, the level becomes pretty much perfectly click synced, so just make sure you click to the song. I know that sounds really, really obvious, but there are some sections in this level that aren't really click sync. I found with a lot of flow levels and not really click sync levels, a lot of it just doesn't sync well. And I get that that's probably just to not make the level like super easy. It's still really annoying that randomly, like, you'll be in like a sync section, but like then you'll just randomly be in a part that doesn't really sync that well, and it's really annoying, or a part that does desyncs. But yeah, starting with the clicks after the 4 buffers at the beginning, the part become pretty click sync focused, which is nice. You can click a lot of the orbs in this part fairly early, at least earlier than you think. This blue orb right here, for some reason you become a ship with an invisible portal. You can just hold the entire way through after hitting the blue orb, and it aligns you for this, so don't really worry about timing that. Now this part right here is one of the first parts I'd consider to be like a choke point. It's not really necessarily a choke point, I just find it to be a difficulty spike, which it's not much harder than other parts, but it is truly a part that you just probably find more difficult than other parts. And it's because you have to do a lot of like 1 2 1 1 2, and if you get used to them, it's not too bad. But stuff like this wave right here, this wave doesn't really sync to anything, so it's really hard to get used to like this wave. But once you get used to it, this part does become fairly consistent. It's just that I think you should practice this part a bit more because it's a bit harder than the other parts. Sadly, this level was play tested in a way I dislike, where instead of actually like making timings harder to avoid skips, or just like, you know, keeping skips in if they're harder than the normal path, this level actually went and actually like patched every skip with a toggle trigger orb, which in my opinion is a pretty lazy way to fix bugs or skips. By the way, after you hit this, you want to actually click as the cube. It never works as a buffer. Like right here, like you have to hit the green orb, which fine, whatever, but you really couldn't move the bottom structure just up a little bit more. Like you had to make it like a toggle orb. I don't know. It always irks me the wrong way when creators just use toggle orbs to patch skips and just instead of just like, you know, buffing timings or actually, you know, fixing the skip. This part right here is very, very confusing. This is the first part of the level that actually took me a bit of time to learn, and it's just really, really learny. You do click to the song in a lot of it, but it's still really learny, especially with wave releases and holds you have to do, and the fact that sometimes you just have to click to the percussion of the song instead of the lyrics. But this part is pretty fun once you learn it. It's just really annoying to die to it. Right here, I actually add an extra unnecessary click because you could just literally fly like this and then click once you exit the blue portal like this. But I added a click to the beginning because I'm pretty sure it syncs with the song if you like click syncing to the song. So it's entirely up to you if you do an extra click here. And by an extra click, I mean as soon as I enter the ship portal, I click and then click again once I hit the blue portal. But yeah, if you want to do that, you can. I actually do recommend it just for consistency, but it's completely up to you. Right here, I recommend only doing 2 clicks for the straight fly, like 1, 2. It just makes it more consistent. This UFO part might be confusing at first, but you literally just want to click as soon as you enter each of the portals in this part. That's what I did. I basically used the portals as click indicators, and that helped me. When you enter the ship portal, don't worry about clicking because you get a line for this blue gravity portal anyways, so it doesn't really matter. And right here, each of the clicks can be buffered. As long as you can hit the orb as early as possible, you're pretty much fine in every single one of these clicks. And then this duel, I don't know how it works, but I just clicked to the song and it works, so, you know, I don't have much to say there. And right here, if you just click on this toggle trigger, you can hold the entire way up because of the correction portal, making that timing very easy. But yeah, most of this ending can actually be buffered. You just have to know which clicks are actually timings. And this wave right here is pretty weird. I honestly don't like it that much. It's not hard. You can see by the gaps, it's not hard. I just found this wave to be a bit weird. But yeah, in general, I would just say this last part is the easiest and honestly most linear part of the entire level. So there's not really much for me to say about it. Anyways, yeah, that was Mizureta. I'm going to give my full thoughts on Mizureta at the end of the video, but for now, I'm just going to tell you on if I recommend it. I only recommend this level really if you are a frequent player of levels that do click sync or flow, and if you liked Kuzureta or Niwa or even wasureta. If you liked any of those levels or like the levels that I'm even talking about, then I do recommend this level. But if you dislike flow, dislike click sync, or even just dislike fast-paced, learny gameplay, I definitely wouldn't recommend this level. And one thing I'm also going to say is that the tutorial for this was a bit weird for me to make because as I played it, I realized there's not much for me to say because most of the level is pretty linear and straightforward. It actually is probably easier than Niwa, in my opinion. I actually beat this level when it was a rated Insane Demon, and I thought it was an Insane Demon when I beat it because I beat it in like, I think 800 attempts. But now that I look at it, I do think it's an Extreme Demon. I think it's still just like Niwa difficulty. It's like pretty easy of an Extreme Demon. I'm gonna go back to one if I recommend it, and I only recommend it if you're into these types of levels. If you're not into these type of levels, I don't even recommend it for like trying to get your skill up for these levels. It's not really an enjoyable experience, and for me, I don't like the Kuzureta, wasureta, Niwa type levels. I just don't think you'll have a good time with this if you don't like absolutely enjoy this gameplay. You can say that about pretty much any level, but specifically with this one, you won't really have any fun value out of it and you won't really learn anything useful, so avoid it if you're not into this type of level. Anyways, that's all I have to say about Mizureta for now. Sorry for yapping, but whatever.
Dude, please, let me just fucking click that right. Dude, let me click that fucking orb right, please. Oh yeah, whatever you fucking say, dude. Oh my fucking god, dude. What do you mean? Dude, this level fucking sucks my dick. Dude, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off, fuck off. Fuck off, stop. Dude, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Dude, that fucking wave transition is literally the worst thing ever fucking built. And it's crazy because Rebellion was built. Rebellion's peak though. No, it's not, bro. It sucks so much ass. This level's genuinely worse than Dark Rainbow Reaper. Fuck off! Dude, focus, Jason. Focus! Nice! I fluked that. Oh my god. Nice. Cool. Another insane demon down. That is an insane demon, by the way. I know it just came out, but that really is an insane demon. So that's plus 510, so 677.
Alright, that was Mizureta. I'm gonna be honest, I was pretty harsh with Mizureta when I was first beating it, and the reason is, I was going for kuzureta at the exact same time I beat Mizureta, and during that I was also just grinding a bunch of insane demons, and specifically insane demon list insane demons, and this was up there, so, you know, I was being unfairly harsh at this level, and I'm gonna be honest, it's not bad. It's pretty good, and I think that's mostly because it's pretty easy. Now, I'm also not going to sit down and tell you that it's a good level. I don't think it's good either. I just think it's average. I think it's mid. It's definitely not as good as kowareta, which is one of my favorite levels. I don't even think it's as good as wasureta, which I don't really like. I just think it's fine. And I think most of that just comes from the fact that it's an easy demon and it's accessible. And I just think that the level could have just used a bit more playtesting, and I think the creators did do a pretty good job on this level. It looks really clean. Anyways, in terms of enjoyment, I gave Mizureta a 6 out of 10, which originally was a 3 out of 10 until I went and re-evaluated the level. The level isn't bad. It has a few weird choke point times and a few choke point parts, but when you get consistent with them, you get really consistent with them, and it's fun to just do them over and over in start pause. The problem with this level is when you play it from zero, or when you just try learning it. When you try learning it, it's pretty bad, but once you actually just learn it and it gets accustomed in your muscle memory, it becomes pretty fun. It's just really hard to play from zero though, because you do just die randomly, which sucks, and that's not just a me issue. A lot of people I know who also beat this level just died randomly to random things in this level. I will say the ending's really fun, and I think that's just because it's the easiest part. One thing that does annoy me though, and this is the same case with a lot of flow and click sync levels, the level just stops click syncing at certain points, and those specifically are the choke points of the level. I get that it probably just doesn't want to have perfect click sync because it might be too easy, but it does get really annoying when half of the level is click sync and then the other half isn't. That's an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. Anyways, in terms of decoration, I gave Mizureta an 8 out of 10. Mizureta's decoration is really good. It's a nice, bright, vibrant level. I think it does its colors fine, and I think that the overall theming of the level is just glow style, but better. Glow style isn't necessarily bad. I do think it's overused, but the way this level does it is pretty nice, and it has quite a few good backgrounds. The backgrounds are really the greatest part of this level, in my opinion, and some of the block designs are pretty good, so overall, the decoration is just really good. I also do like the effects throughout the level and the pulses. I think the strongest decoration in the level is from the midway point to the end. I think the first half of the level does have the weaker decoration, but the second half of the level really pops, and it really just shows if you watch the level. Anyways, yeah, that's all I have to say about Mizureta for now. Thanks for watching the video if you watched all the way through, and if you liked the video, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. It really does help me out. And that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching, and this is another plug, but if you haven't checked out the layout for my level Fall yet, please go and check that out. It's a pretty early build of the level, but I still really enjoyed making it, and it's a project that has a lot of deep meaning to me. And yeah, it'd just be really nice if you guys went and checked it out. Anyways, yeah, that's all I have to say. Have a good day, guys.